Aj, jävlar! Shit. I got a static charge right there by this microphone. Welcome guys to FAQ138. That was a seriously good clap. So have you seen this? Yes, this is a new guitar, even though you've seen the color before. But before we only had a 2.6 guitars with this color. Now there's an a 1.6 with Evertune bridge. And you got all the other things as well, you know, stainless steel frets, lumen lace, side dots, locking tuners. You got it all. Did you watch my live stream this past Wednesday? It was a live rig of the week, and I thought it went pretty successful. You know, with you guys picking what gear I'm supposed to use, and then it's basically just me sitting around playing that. I thought it went great, and I'm definitely gonna make more of those, so be on the lookout for that. I thought it was a great opportunity to just engage a little bit more directly with you guys, even though I have to put it on slow mode. And there's still like a waterfall of comments. But I'm doing the best that I can, okay? I'm trying really hard. Long and hard. If you did watch my live stream, you might have seen this. My little new Rodecaster Pro that I have here, which is basically like a mixing desk for podcasting and streaming. I don't have my microphone hooked up to it right now, but I have this soundboard right here so I can play stuff. Like, you know, if I do a really good joke, you know, it's like, Ola, is that a Wolverine you have there in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me? So I basically don't need your guys' help anymore, but I also have this. I can play an intro. And obviously I have the rest filled with fart samples. You would think that when you become an adult, that fart samples wouldn't be as funny. But you know what? They become more funny the older you get. So yes, this is the soundboard that I'm gonna use, and you know, I can just, that's a fart. That's a short fart. That's a question fart right there. Yeah, okay, good. Good talk. Let's start with the questions. Phil Riverdragon, cheers Ola. Many bands are postponing their album releases. In my opinion, in times of streaming platform, it is not necessarily to do so. Is it because of touring schedules? What do you think? Why they're delaying the album? I think there's a lot of factors that go into this, so it's not really easy for us to analyze why they would do something like this. Because of touring schedules, yeah, there's a possibility, obviously, because you will want to tour on a new album straight away. But it could also be like that they've delayed something or delayed the release because something else is gonna be released at the same time. So, you know, a lot of the labels and bands, they kind of have slots for different releases. So if your band is gonna release an album, you don't wanna release an album maybe at the same day as like Arch Enemy, or you know, a band that's really big and large. And sometimes these bands get a shit slot and they might want to change. You know what? I think a big factor in this is probably production and, you know, making the actual CDs and vinyls or whatever. And that has probably halted a little bit as well because of Corona. So maybe that's that. They needed more time to, you know, print and all that. I don't know. Just guessing right here. But great question, made me think. I'm using this cup, by the way. Cup of the day, Stormtroopers, and then you have a small little Darth Vader right there. Sander Vip. Hi Ola, I recently started on the pedalboard journey. What €1,000 amplifier would you recommend me to use as a good pedal platform? Is there any benefits with using a high gain amp for it? Or should I just get a high wattage clean amp? Thanks for an awesome content and good entertainment during my Sunday morning coffee. Have that good for Denmark. I mean, it all depends. Do you have a really good distortion pedal that you're really happy with, that is kind of like your main tone? Then I wouldn't bother getting, you know, a really good high gain amplifier. I would probably get a clean amplifier for that. I would even go to the extent of maybe getting a really good power amp only, and then you have, you know, the main distortion pedal and maybe an EQ or something like that, because then you get the power section of a tube amplifier maybe, and you know, then you still have the EQ on the pedal and an extra EQ where you can basically dial a good enough sound. So maybe that's an option for you. If you're a guy who likes to use overdrives and, you know, to push a real tube amplifier, I would probably go and find like a rectifier or a 5150 or something like that, because they are good value nowadays. I mean, they pop up here and there used for really good prices. So maybe that's a good option for you right there. But if I would build my own pedal board and all that, I would probably use a tube power amplifier like the Fortin that I have. But there's other options out there. So there you go. Cilium LKG. Can you make a list of old heads you think deserve more attention? The used market for amplifiers in the US especially can be amazing, and in an effort to minimize electronic waste, people should consider used gear more often, especially when there are amazing amps that can be purchased for $100 to $200 US. Yes, I definitely agree. Just as I mentioned in the question before, getting like a used rectifier in the US, sometimes I've seen rectifiers for a couple of $100 in the US, and that's just insane. But I mean, obviously, because they're made in the US, here in Europe, it's a lot more expensive. So I will most definitely get a rectifier or a 5150. I mean, those amplifiers still holds up really well today. I mean, if you couple with an overdrive or an active pickup or something like that, that takes you so far. Just as with the other question, if you want to spice things up, you can get the distortion pedal, you know, go into the loop or whatever and switch out things. I mean, there's just so much you can do with a simple amplifier like a rectifier. I mean, there's a loop in it. You can connect whatever you want to the loop and go that way if you don't want to use the preamp of the amplifier or whatever. So, I mean, there's so many options out there. I mean, think of it like this. If you have a distortion pedal that's really good, basically any tube power amplifier will work, or like an FX loop power amplifier. So even if it's an amplifier with a shitty preamp, you can still use the power amplifier, and usually it's good. Rectifier, 5150, what else? What is good value nowadays? I still think that the PRS MT15 is great value for a new amplifier if you're ever considering one. I just think it's, I think the price point of that amplifier is just great and amazing, and for a really kick-ass sound. So there you go, thank you. Paul Calvert, I love the Office question. So can you do a day in the life of the Office video for me and the fans? I love my Sunday morning FAQ. Okay. In the morning, I walk into my office. Usually I check in on my Discord members at this hour, see if anyone wants in voice chat, flexing these, and yeah, just walking. First things first, getting some brewski ready. That black gold, the love juice. You know, getting those brown beans happening. Okay. So while the coffee is getting ready, I usually sit down in my office space like this. I bring out my little laptop. And I start answering emails, basically. That's usually what I do in the beginning of the morning, while I'm also checking in my Discordians on my Discord server. So while I'm sitting here answering my emails here in the morning, I take out my thinking ball. I shake it a little bit, and I ask myself, should I start this day with some Apex, maybe? My thinking ball says yes. So I'm booting up my gaming PC, and as you can see here, I have an aim dot in the center of it, and that's something that's available on this actual monitor. So it's always on. So if I'm just sitting doing Discord or surfing, you know, I just have it there. You know, it's just to practice my aim when I take aim on a YouTuber, you know? Like, all right, so I did one game of Apex, and I also did some bookkeeping. Helping Luis is doing most of the bookkeeping, but I have to still make some of the stuff. It's kind of a problem, so I put it in the bookkeeping pile right there. And now I'm gonna enter my cave, but I have to bring in my coffee cup with me. So the plan for today, I'm gonna make a Rig of the Week live stream today. So I think everyone has voted, and it's going to be a Keith Merrow guitar and my Marshall JCM 800. So I have to prepare for that. So I'm going to set everything up here and basically prepare for that today. I'm also going to edit my FAQ. All right, so now I've been editing my FAQ a little bit for this coming Sunday. I've also set up this Keith Merrow guitar for the live stream that I'm going to have tonight. I've been changing strings on it, making sure it's in good shape for the live stream. And it's, what is it, like 10 o'clock? Louise is in here. She's packing orders. And she is lovely in the hair today. But I'm just going to stick with this FAQ a little bit. The FAQs are basically the absolute most time-consuming videos that I make. So I'm going to get to it. That's it. Done with the FAQ, even though it's done before you're watching it right now and before you finish the video, but it's done. I also set up the live Rig of the Week right here, so I'm going to prepare for doing my little live stream in a little bit. So yeah, basically this is what happens during the day. Usually at this hour I will go home, but I'm going to do that live stream. But thank you. Now obviously this was just that particular day. I mean, another day can be so much different, you know, from the early morning to whatever I'm doing, you know. It all depends on the day, basically. But I try to keep things different every day so I don't get bored doing it. I think that's the approach that I need to have to make this, you know, a fun job for me. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, every job becomes, you know, routine and might get stale after a while. So I'm just trying to find ways where I can make it more exciting. Okay? Good. Mike Dervos. Hola, you must teach me how you stream. What setup program do you use and how do you connect the plugin sound into the stream program? You are a... Sorry. You are a pro on this. Take care. Okay, stream. What do I use for streaming? Basically just OBS. Because I'm on a Mac, they don't have Streamlabs on Mac, but they do have OBS. And OBS is definitely more than enough for me. I'm not really using any scenes or, you know, intros or anything like that right now, but I have a couple that I can use. I just, you know, when I put on the stream, it's just, you know, bam, straight into it. I don't have a countdown or anything like that. You know, the YouTube countdown, that's another thing. But, so it's basically just sitting like here. I just put on this camera. I mean, right now I have so much other equipment happening. I just recently got this, which is a Roland HD video switcher, where I can hook up 4 different cameras and I can switch in between them and, you know, have some cool effects and whatnot. And that output goes to Elgato Camlink that I'm currently using for this camera right here. You can see me pointing in here. And obviously now I'm also using this as like my main interface for me streaming. So I have, you know, my talking, I can have a microphone of, you know, the Rig of the Week hooked up to this, and I can sit and mix and I can mute myself and I can push this and this and this. And, you know, I just have more options now that I have this figured out. But at the end of the day, I mean, all you need is basically a webcam, or, you know, even like an iPhone. You can do it with an iPhone if you want. And it's more about the engagement, I think, with the audience more than anything. I think that is like the key point right there. And this, you know, these things, they're just the extras, you know, and they don't really matter as much. But it's nice to have, you know, and I'm a tech freak, so I like to have the options to do all of this. So there you go, thank you. Cecily Wilson, what's your Apex Legends main? Well, I started on a Wraith. And now I'm an Octane man. And I have a hard time playing other characters now because the Octane is so fast. You know, I play mostly on American servers with American friends. With that, I need to be fast because my ping is shit. But so that's why I play the Octane. And whenever I get back to European servers, it feels like I'm a god playing. So there you go. Arlene, did you see yourself where you are today like 10 years ago? That's an excellent question. I mean, with this job, it's kind of hard to anticipate the future. You have no idea what's gonna happen. I mean, this YouTube channel that I have right here, it might not be a thing in a year. I mean, what if something happens to Google, for instance, then, you know, maybe this will all go away. You know, 10 years ago, I hadn't quit my day job, so I would most definitely not see myself do this for a living. But I definitely saw myself doing a lot more videos, you know, and continue doing it because I always thought it was fun making these. This might not be the most secure job in the world right now, being, you know, a YouTuber, but I also have the solar guitars, you know, my music and all that, which is, you know, you have to have several income streams. So for say if my YouTube channel crashed, I have something else, or if like solar guitars goes to shit, I have something else. As of right now, I just try and see like a year ahead or something like that, trying to kind of picture this coming year. And not really thinking that much about 10 years or 15 years. We'll just have to see. As of right now, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And I plan to keep it that way. Sticking in her pooper. Are you getting tired of doing FAQs each week? Yes, just a little. TJ Do. Hola, been seeing that Caparison in the office still. Did you get to keep it? How about playing something for the riff of the day on that sweet thing, baby? Yes, it's still in the office. No, I do not get to keep it, but I'm keeping it in the meantime. You know, it'll probably be here at the office until they need it back for another review or whatever. But in the meantime, I can just sit and enjoy it like this. It's nice. But I need a cable. And playing this guitar, I guess we have to make a riff of the baby. Oh my God, okay. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Great. Riff for the day. Riff of the day. Let's do I'm Broken. There's a cool little lick happening. There's a camera over there. Hi. How you doing? Okay, let's do that. So the cool thing here is that you need to learn how to make pinch harmonics, okay? So in order to make a pinch harmonic properly, you need to pluck the string in between the guitar pick and some flesh, either on your pointy finger or your off finger. Depends on what type of player you are. But I pinch the string in between my pointing finger and this pick right here. So. And slow, it's basically like this. It was 5 minutes alone. Not I'm Broken. Shit! I like this guitar, but I want to play this. Look at this. Shit! Louis, Joe Bossman, how do you go about acoustically treating your workspace? Is it a random placement thing, or are you follow calculated measurements with a company or do yourself? I always love seeing the methods people use. So, would you mind sharing some of the presets you went through? Thank you. Louis is the administrator of my Discord channel. And we have a cool Uber story that I might talk about someday. I don't do any type of measurements at all in this office. I mean, right now it's sort of like a shoebox, you know, going from here to over there to that camera right there, rectangular room. Usually in a setup like this, you will want to have the desk in the center on one of the longer walls. You know, I'm not a professional when it comes to sound treatment, and you know, I'm not a professional mixer. So, you know, for me, you know, perfect listening environment, yes, it is nice, But for me personally, I think it's more about just dampening whatever reflections that you have. So what I'm having right now is I have these are curtains. They help a little bit on this wall right there. And then I also have these acoustic absorbers. Basically what they do is just remove the echoes and, you know, dampen the room basically. Also the tiles are like hanging ceilings and they do a little bit as well. Big carpet right here definitely helps. I don't really have any reflection on this spot right here other than the reflection going to that side of the room and back. But you know, my listening situation is just fine right here as it is. So I don't really feel that I need to, you know, have a measured room or anything like that. I mean, I'm not a professional at all. I'm just trying to run this, you know, YouTube channel. Ryan T. Rasmus, hi Ola, I just want to hit you with this. Thank you. Steve Style, sup Rolla, with all the content on YouTube, Discord and all other social media to keep up with this, does it ever get overwhelming? Is there a point to where you feel like this is too much, I need a break? Or does the passion and enjoyment drive you harder? Thanks from the quietest member you have. Slight of social anxiety, lol. Thank you so much, Steve Style. And yes, it does feel overwhelming at times, but also what I've been learning is that if I take a break or have vacation, you know, my fingers itch very, very quick. And I just need to have work happening at all times, sort of. Otherwise, I'm not functioning properly. I just think that's the way that I am. You know, I have to have something happening. You know, I'm putting my fingers here and there, you know, getting things done. I always want to have something that I can push forward. So there's a lot of things that I can accomplish. And whenever I accomplish something, you know, that's a great feeling right there. But then I also have, you know, 5 other things that I'm still kind of working with. And that's how I kind of push myself forward. It's nice to have a break, but I have breaks every day, basically. You know, I play video games and, you know, it's all about the shorter sit downs and chill, basically. You know, gardening work has shown to be a really great way for me to switch off the social media thing, because when I'm out there shoveling dirt or whatever I'm doing, that's all I'm thinking about. I've never really been good at doing 2 things at the same time. You know, as you can see when I'm trying to play and sing, I can't do it. I'm not smart enough, or you know, my brain just doesn't function in a good way. Same thing with the gardening thing. I have to do that, and then I focus on that, and everything else is gone, basically. In that sense, it's good for me that I can't do 2 things at the same time. But you know, I like to have many balls in the air. Is that an expression? In Sweden, that's an expression that you have a lot of balls in the air. Många strängar på din lyra. Swedish word today, many strings on your lute. That's also another expression for, you know, having a lot of balls in the air. So there you go. Shit. Oh, that was actually the last question. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. And I'm soon to hit, well, not soon, I guess. It's going a little bit slower now that everyone is on YouTube. But as soon as I'm hitting 500K, I'm going to drop that single for you. And then after that, it's just business as usual, I guess. So nothing's going to change. I'm just going to release a song. Some people might find that exciting, most of you don't. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section of this video. And to all of my YouTube members, love you so much. See you on Discord. Bye guys.